Hello, everyone. In this session, you will learn how to use the payment form to split invoice or order schedules that are already generated in the system. When we complete any invoice or order, the system automatically creates schedules based on the payment terms defined on that invoice or order. Once the transaction is completed, the related schedules are generated by the system. However, in some cases, users may want to make changes. For example, if they need to modify the payment term or make the payment for a particular schedule in a different way. In such cases, users can use the payment form to define how they want to split an existing schedule, specifying how many new schedules to create, along with their respective due dates and amounts. Using the payment form, users have the flexibility to split already generated schedules in the system, whether they are invoice schedules or advance payment schedules for orders. Training objectives. By the end of this session, you will be able to 1. Explain the purpose of splitting invoice or payment schedules in the Onfinity system, and understand when and why users might need to split them. For instance, if a customer or vendor requests a change in the payment term, asking for a new payment plan instead of the one originally defined, we can handle that requirement using the payment form. 2. Navigate to and use the payment form for splitting schedules within the Onfinity system. This form provides the flexibility to create or split invoice and order schedules, even after completing the original transactions. Prerequisites. Before using the payment form for splitting schedules, the following conditions must be met to ensure a smooth process. 1. Valid vendor or customer records. There must be existing open payable or receivable invoices or orders in the system. These invoices or orders should have unpaid schedules available for selection and splitting. 2. Necessary permissions. The user must have access rights to the payment form to open and use it for splitting invoice, order, or payment schedules. Understanding schedule splitting. For example, suppose invoices are already created in the system, but the customer or vendor wants a different payment arrangement than the one originally defined. In that case, they can use the Onfinity payment form to select the invoice or order and split the total amount into multiple installments. Splitting an invoice or order payment schedule means dividing a single schedule amount into multiple installments, each with its own due date and amount. In the Onfinity system, this splitting process is performed directly through the payment form. Now, let's navigate to the Onfinity system to see how to use the payment form for splitting schedules. So, here is my link. I am log in using my credentials and click on Login. Now I'm opening the payment form. As explained in the previous training sessions, this form displays several sections: receivable invoices, orders, GL journals, and payables. The splitting feature can be used for both invoices and orders, but GL journals cannot be split. If you try to split a GL journal, the system will display a message indicating that GL journal records cannot be split, since they are single, already posted entries. We can perform schedule splitting for both receivables and payables. If you click directly on the split button without selecting any record, the system will prompt you to select at least one schedule. So first, let's select a schedule. For example, I'm selecting an invoice schedule here. Let's open this particular invoice record on the invoice screen to verify the impact. Here is our invoice, and it currently has only one payment schedule. Now, we'll split this payment schedule into multiple schedules with different amounts and due dates. To do this, navigate back to the payment form. After selecting the record, click on Split. Enter the amount you want to split from the existing schedule. After entering the amount, click on Split Schedule. Once you perform this action, the system automatically subtracts the entered amount from the original schedule. You can also change the due date of the new schedule. If you wish to split the schedule further, select the remaining balance, enter another amount, and click Split Schedule again. Each time, the system deducts the split amount from the previous schedule and creates a new one. This means that a single schedule can be divided into multiple smaller schedules by selecting it and specifying the split amounts. The system copies the original due date by default, but users can modify it as needed. After creating all the required schedules and updating their due dates, click OK. The system will display a confirmation message. Payment amount split successfully. Now let's verify the invoice. You can see that the schedule has been split into 3 separate schedules. This is how we can split an invoice schedule, whether it's an AP invoice or an AR invoice, according to business requirements. Next, let's look at how to split order schedules. Select order in the payment form. Choose an order to work with. I'm selecting one here so we can verify its schedules. This order has 3 schedules, out of which one is paid and the others are unpaid. On the form, I'm selecting the schedule with an amount of 800 to split. Now, I'll split this 800 rupees schedule into multiple smaller schedules. After selecting the order schedule, click the split icon. Enter the amount you want to split, for example, 200. The system does not allow you to enter an amount greater than the due amount. Once you click Split Schedule, the system creates a new schedule and automatically subtracts the split amount, 200 rupees, from the original schedule, updating the remaining balance to 600 rupees. You can update the due date for the new schedule if required. You can repeat this process to create more schedules. After you finish and click OK, the system will display a message. Payment schedule split successfully. Now, when we verify the order schedules, we can see that the original schedule of 800 rupees is now split into 3 schedules: 200 rupees, 200 rupees, and 400 rupees, exactly as we defined in the payment form. This is how you can use the payment form for splitting schedules, both for invoices and orders. That concludes this training session. Thank you for attending.